Hi guys, welcome. I'm Tracy, this is Carleton. I think we know most of you, or a lot of you. We're glad you can make it to our clinic, Mastering the Undersaddle.
Hi. So, you've got to remember one of the first things about an undersaddle class is presentation. Presentation and turnout. First impressions are very important. So, how to present your horse in your presentation, if you happen to watch an undersaddle class with the judge that's judging you before your class, you'll notice where he looks. Does he watch you in the corners? Does he look more across the ring? Does he look closer to him? What's his pattern? You walk, trot, canter the first direction. When you reverse, does he have you canter first? You have to remember, second direction is usually faster than the first direction. Does your horse trot well? Does your horse canter well? If your horse doesn't trot so well, you want to have him get your number, but then you don't want to really show off that your horse doesn't have a great trot. But you really want to find the spot, make sure you give a great canter. As you canter, let's say you're cantering, you look around, we used to be taught, you have eyes in front of you and one eye in the back of your head. So you're always watching who's coming up behind you. Separate yourself. If you have a great canter, you also want to know who else is your competition, who else has a good mover at the canter. Those you try to avoid being here. You give the judge an opportunity to compare your horse to the one right next to you or the one right behind you or in front of you, because that one canters a little better. You can just put yourself down. If you're on the other side of the ring, he never can have you guys next to each other, and he has to make a decision on his own. It's subjective. So you have to think how to play the game, how to present yourself to the best of your ability. You have to have a strategy.
Yes, and knowing your horse is really important. Like Carleton said, if you have a great trot, when you first trot in the ring, you're going to show that trot off. You're going to try to get in there early. You're going to go right at the judge. You're going to get a good spot. Knowing where the judge is sitting is also really important. We try to encourage all of our riders at some point in the horse show to either go and have a seat in the judge's box when the horse show's over, or at least to walk over to that side and just get the perspective from there. The other thing to remember is the judge's box is elevated at most horse shows. Back in the old days, the judge used to stand in the center of the ring to watch the undersaddle. Now they're usually off to the side, most judges, and a little bit above your horse. So if you're trotting and you're trying to have the judge see you and you're right in front of the judge's box, he basically can see you from the waist up. He cannot see your horse. So you have to go and see what the judge can see from where he's sitting. So maybe when you go on the side closest to the judge, you're going to stay in a little bit. You're going to use the quarter line. Same when you go on the other side. If you're all the way on the rail and you have horses to the inside of you, you're hidden and the judge can't see you. So those little strategies of how to get seen, we're going to work on today. Like sometimes you need to possibly cut the corner, speed up, slow down in order to make a good spot for yourself so you can be seen the best.
Myself as your judge, as I'm judging, I like to see you trot slightly toward me out of the corner. And on the other side, I like to see you trot slightly from the inside of the corner out. And then you get to see a profile of your horse. And actually you can make your horse appear and present it better. Just trotting straight up and down the rail, you don't have a plan. You have to have a plan. If your horse wings its leg or swings its leg a little bit, you'll never want to trot right toward the judge showing him that you're like your horse paddle. You would go deeper in the corner and trot away from him so that he can't see it paddle. Same on the other side, you'd want to trot away toward him so he can't see it, because he can't see it, but when he goes away, he can see it from behind. You have to know your horse. You have to know your horse.
The other thing to remember is you are always being judged. And we've said this before. When you're outside the ring, the judge walks by. When you're at the food stand, the judge sees you. As soon as you walk in the ring, you might be being watched. So you have to always be paying attention, and you have to always act like you're trying and like you're trying to do your best. If you're riding around on the best mover out there, but you look like you would rather be somewhere else, or you're hot, or you're tired, or you're hungry, it's going to show. The judge feels that. So you have to make the judge feel like you're there to win, you're trying really hard, and you have the best horse out there, whether it is or not.
Let's add to that. If you ride in the ring, you act like a winner, but you know you don't have a winner. If you keep presenting yourself as you think you should win, you can convince that judge that you should get a higher placing. If you go in, as Tracy said, you'd rather be at the beach, you might as well be at the beach. All right, now here, let's talk about lining up. When you line up in your class, if you line up, the judge happens to be where this judge's stand is, and you line up, first off, to help a judge out, you should line up on the corner line, not always in the middle. Number two, if you line up in the middle, every time he's searching for numbers going back and forth, if you're near the middle, he's going to see your number twice as often. It helps.
Same
I always have everybody line up. I line up, I get my spot, everybody's lined up, I back up a step or two. Then every time he goes down the line, my number sticks out. Oh, well, I can't find out who's fifth. Fifth is a point, makes you champion or reserve. And if he's just going, and he just rambles on down, and especially when he's in a rush because management's trying to get him done so he can go on to the next class, that number sticks in his mind, so he uses you. You want to be used. You want to be used in the placings. You have to present yourself. You never stop showing. Lining up, you're not done showing. The other thing I'd like to talk about, presentation. The walk is the tiebreaker. It's your basic gait. Most of you don't walk. You drag. You have a great mover and one that's almost as good and that other person walks better, they're going to win.
And by walking better, he means walking forward with suspension, with animation, with symmetry. We'll work on that too.
Yeah, let's talk about symmetry. If you have a horse that doesn't move equally behind as in front, you need to hide that. If you have a horse that canters higher behind at the canter, you need to make sure that the judge doesn't get to see a bird's eye view of that. You have to know how your horse moves. You have to watch the classes before, see what he prefers. And then show your horse the best you can.
And when we say, see what the judge prefers, see where he's judging, see what he prefers, the kind of moving horses that he prefers, but also other things like, does he like the horses to be on a looser rein? Does he like a little bit of a frame? Does he like ones that go slow or who show some pace? Those are things to make note of too. And when you start knowing sometimes who's judging, you kind of know their preferences and you can make adjustments.
I take notes all year, what the judge likes, doesn't like, when he judges the skin, and most judges judge you more than once a year. You go to the horse show prepared. You have to remember that. All right?
Okay, we're getting ready to start. So right now we would be thinking about where's the best place to be. Everybody's on one side of the ring, so I'd be trotting over somewhere where there's not another pony. So show me that you're making an effort to be smart right from the beginning, that you're thinking.
Now everybody look at me from I'm looking over here where this arm is pointing, and we're looking over here.
But if we all go to the same place, it doesn't work so well.
Put this out, let's go. All right, now let's make sure we have a prompt walk. We look like the winner.
That's good, Grace.
All right, and let's trot. Now this junction, I would say a little farther away than the judge's spot. I would be coming from that judge's stand right through here. The ring's empty, right through here.
Yep, that's perfect. Right there is perfect.
Maybe start turning where that gray horse is on the lineup and come right toward me.
That's perfect, Shiloh.
Good, Shiloh. There you go.
Good, Stella. No closer, Stella.
Back turn on the
Good.
Because your horse will get too short-sighted and lift their head up.
Good. And then on the far side over there, I'm having a hard time seeing the ponies that are on the rail so far away from me. Yeah, so
Blend in with the flowers.
yeah, so where Shiloh is right now, that's better. And then she's coming at me again, which is great to get another spot. What we don't want to see is people doing a lot of circles.
These two down here, you like you're in a different class. You need to come
Yeah, you guys, I can't, you guys at the far end, I don't see it all. So let's make the ring a little smaller. Maybe sometimes we'll stay inside of the island here or inside of the end jump, inside of the island at the other end. So we're actually making the ring a little smaller, especially when there are not a lot of horses in the class, right? You always have to be thinking, where next, where next? Where can the judge see me?
All right, let's walk. Yeah, that's really nice. We have 5 of the 7 on that side over there again. That's where you have eyes in the back of your head. You find a place. You want to be by yourself. Keywords, be by yourself.
And as
Separate yourself from the rest of the crowd. You don't want to be one of the crowd? One of the crowd's fifth or under.
marching, marching, walk, walking with purpose, walking with purpose.
There we go. All right, let's canter. Now, you don't really want to pick up a canter and turn away from the judge right in front of him because he's trying to watch the 276. He just turned away from you. Should have cantered a little farther down, then done your circle.
There we go. That's better, Grace. Good, Shiloh. Good, Stell.
Really good with the chestnut. This one, you want straightness on the side. You come out of the corner, you wait with her straight.
The other thing we should discuss is some people say, oh, you should be in your half seat for the undersaddle, or you should be seated. I personally like just a light seat, not completely out of the saddle. How do you feel about it?
I agree. If you want to be out of the saddle, then you still shoot as close contact. You should still be close. This one, I think, standing too tall. Sink it a little bit. Sink in. Push him up to your hand. You look like you're holding a bucket of water.
Yeah, that's the other thing is we don't want loose reins. We want a little bit of contact.
Good. Really good here. Really good here. Now,
Good.
Fun stuff again. You've got to have eyes in the back of your head.
Good, Mariah. You could sit a little more. Your pony looks like it's almost going to break, so you could use your seat a little bit to keep it going.
And now look around you. Look, there's 5 all in one end again. Have to stay separated. Constantly turn your head. Look. Plan ahead.
Yeah, just because you're by yourself for a minute doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. So you're constantly scanning, looking, where next, where next.
Let's walk right down to a prompt walk. Do they fall on their nose? Do they pick their balance up and walk with a purpose again? You drop the reins, take a deep breath, or do you keep showing your horse to take a deep breath? All right, let's reverse. Now, my preference when I'm judging, I usually will canter first.
Can we talk about the reverse really quickly?
Sure.
When you reverse, you're thinking, where's a good spot? You can be creative with your reverse. You don't just have to walk a half circle. That's not mandatory. You can walk a square, you can walk a triangle, you can walk through the middle, you can stand and wait for a second. Anything you can do that's always in the interest of getting yourself a spot.
Okay, now I'm going to, my personal preference, except with novices who walk trot, or cross trail hunters, or whatever it is, I ask you to canter first. This is my time I decide if you get third or fifth, first or third. Balance is very important. So I always do a downward transition from the canter to the trot. And I'm not past the point to have you pick up the canter again after we trot. I want you to separate yourselves. I'm not just trying to pick one. I'm letting you decide on whether you're getting. So with this group, we're good enough. Let's canter.
In a minute, let's touch on.
Transitions are very important.
Kick or Stell. Come on.
Transitions are part of the undersaddle. It's not just at the walk, not just at the trot, not just at the canter. The whole time you're in the ring. Transitions are very important.
The other thing, as far as knowing your horse in the canter, if you have a horse that prefers one lead, maybe it's hard to pick up the right lead. You want to make sure you're positioned for that and you're ready for that. Maybe you want to find your way to the corner when you know it's time to canter on the right, or when the judge is maybe asking for that.
Trot. You want your horse's nose tipped slightly in. Does your horse move better in a straight line? Does your horse move better?
Good.
Its nose tipped slightly
Good, Stell.
to the outside leg.
A little faster.
You have to know how your horse moves. Really good.
And when you trot, you want to think about your horse using all of its parts. Stella was trotting a little slowly, so her pony wasn't really reaching up underneath its belly with its hind legs and then wasn't really swinging its shoulders. You want to do what you can to make your horse move to its best ability. That's something you can work with your own trainer on. Does my horse need to go a little more? Does my horse need to go a little slower? Whatever it is that makes it move the better. Does this pony move better maybe with its nose in a little bit? Sometimes if their nose is in a little bit, it will encourage them to use their shoulders a little more.
Move better or worse?
Good, Shiloh, that looks better.
Your pony's nose out. Does it move better? Out, or worse?
Better,
Figure it out.
better. Good, Grace.
Move better straight.
Good, Grace.
Outside nostril.
Good, really good. Really good. Good, Mariah, you need more trot. More trot, more trot, but don't look like you're working so hard.
All right, let's walk. And let's line up. Now, do you show your best? Do you trot in? Do you walk in? What's the best way to get there? Think.
The other thing is, another thing, when they ask you to move your number to the outside, slide your number to the outside, that is so that the judge can see it better. Something else is the bows, right? If your bows are covering your number, which Shiloh's are almost borderline, the judge has a harder time seeing your number, so keep that in mind too.
Okay, Tracy, which number sticks out?
297.
297. She's half a step behind everyone else. 328 caught on to that. She backed right up. Had to go. Okay, now why are we on the end? Shiloh, I would have gone between 328 and 290 there. Then you can basically block 290 out of the way. 290 is way up in the front. The lineup makes a difference. This is it. Tick, 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 tick.
Try to get straight, Shiloh.
Okay.
Try to get all the way straight.
Walk forward.
There you go.
Everybody in reverse. You walk toward us.
Good job, you guys. Question? Question, yes.
So if you have a horse that jigs a little when you change directions and the judge asks you to do your slide,
Yeah, and
repeat the question.
yes.
Why don't you trot over here and ask the question, please?
Yes, the question was, if you have a horse that gets a little anxious at the walk and it jigs a little at the walk and they ask you to slide your number to the outside, the best advice is to kind of fake it and do the best you can. You can kind of act like you're sliding it and do the best you can, but if it's going to sacrifice your walk, no. Like I thought Shiloh did a great job because her pony was a little antsy at the walk the second direction, and she did a really good job of just sitting still and making sure that that pony walked. So yes, I mean, it's the show, right? It's the horse show. So you're going to show like you're moving your number, but even if it doesn't move very much.
I have a better suggestion.
Yes.
Practice it at home.
Yes. Yes.
No one practices the undersaddle at home. Almost no one.
Yes. Good question.
1/5 of your division.
Well,
Practice it. They don't like it.
the other thing that we need to discuss as well, and Michelle just brought it up, is pointing the horse at a jump. Like if you have a horse that does not want to put its ears forward, and that's part of the presentation, the overall expression of your horse. If you have a beautiful mover, but it goes around with its ears back, or it doesn't like the other horses, that's going to affect your performance and how the judge sees you. So what we can do sometimes is point your horse at the flowers, make sure you're by yourself, point it at a jump, let it kind of wonder where it's going for a second, and then maybe it will put its ears forward. Also, if your horse wears cotton, sometimes it's good in the undersaddle, maybe take one or both cottons out if the horse is still going to behave. Yes, question?
I have a question. Do you have a preference as to snaffle or a pelham? Is one weighted down or one preferable over the other in the
I like to see snaffle. But that's my personal preference. I didn't hold it against him. One iota. Thought it was fine. But look at him now. He's sitting there playing with the bridle, overflexed. That's against. So go back over there. Everybody to the rail to the right. Now think. You've learned a few things. Look around. Have eyes in the back of your head. And spread out.
Get busy. Get thinking. Show us that you know what you're doing.
Okay, the announcer's in a hurry. Canter. Are you ready? Canter. Yeah. You have to be prepared.
Careful, Stella. You didn't take your time and then you get the wrong lead, right? Oh, because your pony didn't know which way she was going. So if we're going through the middle and our pony's not sure if we're going left or right, we need to make sure we take our time to get the correct lead. That looks good, Mariah.
Stella.
Good, Shiloh. Straight in the neck.
Straight in the neck, Stella. Not so much bend. There you go.
Really good.
Come up to your hand.
Really good.
Nice. Touch in a little more. You look like you're getting run away.
Slow down, Grace. Good.
A little shorter snap of rein will help you.
Good.
All right, let's do the transition to the trot. Stella, go ahead and trot. Stella, go ahead and trot.
Good, Shiloh. Eyes up, eyes up, eyes up. A little more.
Oh, we need to practice this. Good, Shiloh.
So, Grace, if your pony's getting a little quick over there and I'm not really watching you and I'm the judge, I'd be hiding a little in that corner and maybe almost stopping my pony once or twice.
Look over at the judge. Glance, if he's looking in the other corner, you can train him all you want.
Yeah, if you have one eye on the judge.
All right, let's walk and line up again.
Good job, you guys. Everybody.
That's good, Paul. Right there. Now, you have a question?
Your phone fell out. Oh, dear. Oh, your bow. Shiloh, one thing I notice about you is you never really stand straight. So walk up another step. How we stop is really important, right? Because if you can stop straight, yeah, if you can stop straight, your pony can go straight.
There you go.
Good job, Stell. Okay, the pony kids took the brunt of it, so you guys got to hear it all, so you should know. I see 3 horses right there. 4.
Okay, let's call the class to order and to walk. Now let's walk with some purpose. Look around.
That's right, let your elbow move a little. There you go.
Is it between your horse's 2 shoulders?
That if he jigs, you don't feel like you're grabbing.
Where's his nose? You want their nose just out of perpendicular. That's my preference. Not straight down to the ground. They're not supposed to be looking
Good, Ariana.
forward than their forehead.
Even a little more. Picture him swinging his shoulders. Picture his shoulders really swinging.
Sense your horse.
There you go.
Your
There you
body
go.
movement will help create their body movement. If you're sitting there rigid, they'll walk rigid. If your body moves forward and slightly waddles, they'll stay loose and forward.
Michelle, try to get as much walk as you can. I know he's on the verge of trotting, so maybe that's something you know to practice at home. Again, that's something that a lot of people don't practice is the walk.
Yeah, a little more. You can make him look
That looks
a lot
good.
better by making him a little prompter there.
That looks
Pull
good.
his nose in too far.
You probably just can let go a little of your curb rein.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're good.
First impression. First impression. Now another thing is you're showing your horse. That doesn't mean you should be posting so high and so active that it distracts from your horse's movement. Feel how you put yourself to create something that makes the horse move better.
Good, Ariana. Another thing we can discuss is how you post, right? If you have a horse that's trotting not on a great rhythm or trotting away from you a little or getting strung out, you want to make sure that you use your post to help set the rhythm. I would say that to Ariana. So on the downbeat of the post, Ariana, I would sit a little deeper, right? So that downbeat as you sit is going to help you set your rhythm. Yep. There you go. And then your horse slows down. It relaxes a little. Good, Michelle.
The slower post will help you, Michelle. You look like you're racing this trot. There you go.
Sit a little more on the downbeat.
Breathe.
So the post, you don't want,
Better and better. Great horse. Better and better.
some horses do better with a light post, some horses do better with a more definite post.
All right, down to the walk. We're trying to separate them at the trot. The walk will help separate them at the trot. Do they pull themselves over their front end, or do they push behind? That goes back to the symmetry Tracy was talking about. They've got to work from behind. You judge a mover from behind to the front, not the front to the back. Everything is from the behind to the front.
You think of it as the hind end pushes the front. The hind end is what makes the front end good.
Same at the canter. You want too active of a hind end? You want your hind end dragging. I glance down at their feet dragging their hind toes. Yeah.
Good walk, good walk.
Okay, it's canter. Now remember, usually they move better with their nose straight
Good.
or their outside nostril over their outside shoulder. You've got to allow
Good, Ariana.
your inside shoulder up.
You might have gotten in a little hurry picking up the canter, right?
Got to look like winners. Got to look like winners. This horse that slows down to go to the restroom needs to get schooled up to keep cantering.
They're doing a good job staying by them. They're doing a good job staying by themselves.
Oh yeah, much better at the trot now. I may tell you that next time before you come in the ring, I know you all stood over there, maybe these horses as a group, you canter before, and trot before they go in the ring, not just trot. Okay, let's walk.
Like Michelle's horse. Michelle's horse is looking better as he goes. So maybe, Michelle, your horse would benefit from a little longer warm up, even warm up a little before you come in the ring, because he's looking better and better. Yeah.
Okay, let's reverse, look around. Think now. Think, you're being judged. I'm looking, trying to get my pseudo list here.
I think of it as a diamond pattern, like you were talking about before. And I don't feel like they're getting into the diamond pattern yet.
Yeah.
Always want to not
Yeah.
reverse
Like I haven't seen them
away
coming.
from
Yeah.
the judge.
Yeah.
Or coming this way.
Where your place at. You always look at the judge. You face the judge. Turning your back
Yeah.
to the judge is like, huh? It's like turning your back on your parents. Not a good idea.
Let's work a little on them coming towards us, like we discussed on the diagonal.
All right, so you stand down there, Paul. Tracy will tell you where to stand. Now we're going to do a little rehearse here. We're going to trot. Paul's going to direct you to come off the end, and you're going to trot slightly to the inside of me. And then we're going to go off on the corner as we canter. We're going to canter first.
Am I in your way?
Tracy's in the judge's box.
Inside this or around?
Inside there.
Inside of there.
20 feet this way.
Around is going to be too far away. They never want to be that far away.
So basically, you're going to pick up a canter and do a line just inside Paul to me, and that will present you better to the judge. Okay, let's canter.
Good.
Your horse will move better if you do a little counter bend. Little counter bend.
Good, Mika.
Go. Little counter bend. There you go. Don't lose the lead. I'm over here. You're way over there.
Yeah, make your line a little more diagonal there.
Plan it out.
Make the line the angle a little more acute. So come a little towards me, Michelle. Like almost a little towards me. There you go.
There you go. Now tip his nose over his outside leg.
There you go.
Better. There you go. There you go.
Good, Ariana.
Really
Try not to push your hand across his shoulder.
That horse picked his shoulder up and looked good.
Pick your inside shoulder up.
Now, is your horse cantering straight, or is he a sidewinder with a hind end farther in? You've got the sense. I want to see a horse square.
And if you're not square, your horse won't be square. If you're dropping your inside shoulder, your horse is going to do the same. So you be symmetrical to get your horse to be symmetrical.
Okay, trot, same line. Now remember on the
Good. Stretch,
far
stretch
side,
it. Make him stretch. Make him stretch. You're losing keepers too.
Corner to away from the judge. There you go. Ariana's got it.
Good.
Come on, Mika.
Up with the inside.
As when you came out of the end.
There we go.
Late.
Come on, Meeks. Good. Keep his neck straight. Keep.
Great horses.
There you go.
Improved.
There you go. Really good.
Good here.
Really good.
Here, your horse is
Close your fingers.
ears are forward. Very good job.
Good. Post slower. Post slower. Let your hip relax a little so you're not posting short and quick. There you go.
Walking, no. Walk.
Walk, 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 walk. More. Walk more. Walk more. Walk more. Walk more.
Front in. You want to lose the tie or you want to win the tie? All right, let's line up. Right into the center. Show yourself.
Get on in there.
Let's go.
Get in there. Get your middle spot.
Okay, now I'm going to pick on Mika a little bit here. She just turned and went into the center. I would have come down here again and shown that horse's trot off with a little pizzazz around where Paul was a little farther down and trotted up into the middle and shown off the trot. He's standing there cross-legged behind.
Walk up another step, Mika.
Standing there cross-legged behind because you didn't stop in a straight line.
So what Carleton was saying to Mika is she had one more chance to show off a really good trot to the judge as she went in. So she just kind of whipped in and went over on the right side. She could have trotted down in front of me and gone more towards the center, a little bit over to the left, and gotten seen one more time.
What I emphasize a lot is it's not a race. It's not a contest to see who can do it the fastest. It's a contest to see who can do it the best. No judge wants you to hurry in. The judge wants you to keep shooting to the blue ribbon until he wins the class. You get caught up in a race. The back gate guy is going, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Everybody's in a hurry. You know what? You're never in a hurry. And the old saying goes, you take your time, take your time.
Let's send him out one more time.
All right.
And let's go to the right again, and let's see how you guys absorbed what we just did as far as using the diagonal and all that kind of stuff. And then let's talk about the presentation of it's hunter under saddle. You want it to look effortless. You want it to look elegant. We just told you 7,000 things that are going through your mind, right? So now how do you do all that and still make it look pretty? So let's see that.
Okay, let's trot them first. Let's trot them first. Where you are being judged.
Post slow and relaxed in your hip.
There you go, look at this horse, right? He needs to keep his focus on something. Tip his nose out for a step or two, and then put his ears back up. Now go straight.
Then relax. Like sometimes if you need to play with your horse's mouth and do your homework in the corner, maybe when you get by the judge, you're going to stop doing it because you don't want your horse to put its ears back. That's a little weak, Meeks, a little faster.
Remember,
Good,
you're
Ariana.
only distracting from the horse if you're visible. You're not helping the horse. Just set your horse up to show himself.
Good. Little more trot. Little more trot.
Go. Much, much better this time.
They all look good.
Yep, great horse.
So is everyone thinking about being elegant?
Okay, now we're going to go directly to the canter. Directly to the canter. Think balance, organize. Ariana did it well. Ariana did it best. She pushed him up, got the balance, then the canter. She did not rush into the canter.
Good. And Mika, because your horse gets a little low in the front and a little heavy, I would be using the corners to do my homework and get his balance up and back so that I can kind of let go of him on the long side. So do a little homework in the ends when the judge might not be watching.
There you go.
Good.
All right, trot again.
I like to tell a lot of people, depending on the horse, that as you go from canter to trot, you're going to lift a couple times. So when you get that downward transition, they're not going down, right? That the hind end is still digging in and the front end is staying light. Make sure you don't have your horse's head turned to the left too much, Meeks.
Okay, let's walk. Okay, and let's reline them up. Now let's show you yourself to the judge one more time. Good with the gray.
Good, you guys.
Good, Michelle. Could you a little bright?
Good. That's better, Mika.
Now Mika's thinking in the middle.
Much
there.
better, much better.
There you go.
Good job.
A little brighter. A little brighter. A little brighter. There you go.
Good.
Yeah, now, Mika, you're too far back. Now you look like, there you go. Just one step back from everyone else.
Good, you guys.
All right.
Nice work.
All right, I'm going to go down the line. Anybody have any questions? Raise your hand.
Michelle has a question.
All right, let's walk forward in reverse. Don't run into each other.
Or Carleton, repeat it.
Is it better when you line up to keep your reins, keep a hold of your horse, or to drop your reins? And I said just ease off. Whatever your horse is in the best spot.
Yeah, you don't want to get too sloppy. We had a live streaming question from Christy Miller. She asked about the reverse and about turning away from the judge. If you're right in front of the judge, was the question, and you're asked to reverse, should you reverse immediately or should you walk a little further down? My answer would be to walk a little further down. Just be smart about it. Like we said earlier, reverse doesn't mean you just have to whip around and go the other way. You can go in and then you can go out and then you can go somewhere else. If I was coming here and I was going to reverse and I'm by the judge, I would get past the judge. I wouldn't walk directly away. And then I might walk this way towards Shiloh. And then I might walk down a little depending on who's here or over to the other side where I can get a good spot. It's just wherever I can get a good spot. I'm still not walking away from the judge, but I'm also keeping in mind that I'm going to be asked to trot or canter right away. And I'm looking for where I'm going to go to do that. Shiloh, have a question?
We're just giving a little hint here.
Okay. Are you guys all good?
So, obviously I didn't have a lot of time for him, but
Yeah.
he does have a really nice trot, but like Carleton mentioned, his nose should go out a little bit, and I'm always trying to get the nose in,
Yeah.
which is probably pushing his left leg out.
Right.
But I'm tending to post more aggressively because I'm trying to squeeze the legs a little bit forward. So how can I not be so aggressive in the trot, but get him to get him to give him that really pretty trot?
So Michelle's question is, we mentioned her, adjusting her posting, and she said she's trying to post to get her horse to move better and to get him to really stretch at the trot. But really what she's doing by posting that shallow and that quickly and that kind of tight in her hip, she's actually making her horse's trot fast with a short step and kind of choppy. So what we want is a long swinging ground covering step. So we're going to make our post mirror that. So we're going to post low with a relaxed hip. And if we want our horse to take a long, slow stride, we're going to give a slow post. If we're posting faster, our horse is going to trot faster. It's not necessarily going to open its stride, which is what we want. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. As soon as you relaxed your hip, he went to a whole different gear. He went from doing this to doing this, which is what you want.
Right.
Ask if a horse gets fidgety in the lineup, are you best to try to make it stand still or to walk a little circle? First off, you don't want to disrupt the rest of the class. So I would walk a circle. But I wouldn't spin it around.
You can walk a big
I
circle.
just walk a big circle. The judge is going to appreciate it because you're not ruining the rest.
It's horsemanship overall. Yeah, it's the best thing for your horse. It's trying to think of the right thing to do. And your pony looks like it might be green. So getting it to relax and walking a big circle and giving it a pat would be impressive to me.
All right, any questions? Oh, hang on.
Would you rather have a horse in a frame or on a loose rein?
That is a great question. The question was, would you rather have your horse in a frame or on a loose rein? There are a lot of ways to answer that. It depends on what's best for your horse. Not too much frame, never too much frame in the undersaddle, right? Like Carleton said earlier, you can have the nose slightly ahead of vertical or almost on vertical, but never really behind vertical. Like we see a lot of the things that we don't love, like the pet peeves are too much frame, posting at the canter. Like those two things for me kind of go together.
Swinging the head from side to side.
Yeah, seesawing on the reins to get the head down. That's another one.
But A horse's pole should be above its width.
So if they get too low in the frame and then their balance gets low, that's going to affect their movement. So the best frame for your individual horse, it's not going to be the same for everyone. So technically, hunter frame would be maybe a little bit of flexion at the pole so that they start to really swing their shoulders, but not for every horse. Some horses don't like their mouths fussed with, so those horses might be happier and put their ears forward if you let them poke their nose out a little. Your horse seems to look better in a little bit of a frame, but probably a longer frame for the under saddle than what you would use in the equitation. Right, the equitation is going to be a little more upright and a little more boxy and a little more framed. This is going to be a little lower and a little more relaxed.
Old horseman's words of wisdom: calm, straight, not overbent, forward. That means with purpose in the direction you're going, and square. Hind end follows the front end. The hind end creates where the front end goes.
That was a good question, Ariana. And what we sometimes tell our riders is work the mouth a little in the corner, get your horse's jaw soft, get them following your hand, and then when you come out of the corner, then relax it, right? So then you're not fussing with them too much, but you're kind of putting it back together in the corners and then leaving them alone a little more on the straightaway.
Live feed question. Forging. When your horse reaches up with his hind feet and its front feet, and the shoes go click, 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 click. One, you need to know where the forging comes from. Is it really that the hind feet are going too fast, or the front feet are staying on the ground too long? Most people get that incorrectly. It's the fact the front feet are staying on the ground too long. So maybe where you balance yourself would change forging. If I'm a judge and you come right next to me and you show me that your horse forges because she doesn't want to win. If you try to hide it, maybe you kept coming on the diagonal from there over to there and I could barely hear it. Or you stayed off the corner line and I couldn't hear it as much. Sometimes they don't forge you, bend them in. Sometimes they don't forge you, bend them out. You have to know. Forging is not good in an under saddle fight. It is definitely, if you have a good mover, there's two other good movers, comparable, you're gonna get a mover.
Maybe we talk about how to fix it if we can.
That's what I just said. Help me.
Well, if your horse is forging and you're not sure what to do about it, a few things you can try are slowing your post, right? So maybe things aren't happening so quickly and you're changing the rhythm of the trot, right? You're slowing your post, you're slowing everything down. Another thing you can do is take a little more feel of the outside rein. And that seems to make your horse travel more symmetrical, more squarely. Like if we end up sometimes with their head turned a little inside, the forging seems to happen more. If we start to straighten our horse, almost like we're turning the opposite direction that we're going, a little counter bend and a little slower post. The other thing you can do, and Carleton talks about this a lot, is posting a little further back. Like maybe you sit back a little, like when you sit down on the saddle, you sit a little closer to the cantle than the pommel as you post. And you have to play with it and you have to practice it at home, see what works. Every horse is different.
Sometimes forging, you can have them do a little haunches in as you trot and canter, or a little haunches out as you trot and canter, and they won't run into, hind feet won't run into the front, but that's a quick fix. But you're showing your horse for 10 minutes. That is when you use a quick fix.
You can also take the shoes off.
So when you're in the ring, you've got to
Take the shoes off.
Any other questions?
Good. Good job, you guys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Very good.
We'll be watching you in your under saddles.
We'll be rooting for you.
And this also, a lot of it applies to flat classes for equitation too. So it's useful across the board, we hope.
We're around if you think of any questions.
Hey guys, it's thanks. Thank you guys for putting it on for us, huh?
Thank you. Thanks to you guys in Blenheim and Show Jumping Life for letting us do it.